Alright, so in this video, we're going to talk about the difference between the mindset of conquerors like David Goggins, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Jocko, from the average Joe who has visions of a successful career that overwhelms them with joy and fulfillment. Yet, for some reason, they can't make it a reality like these conquerors do. You know, they tend to find themselves hitting the snooze button 2 or 3 times before going on autopilot mode, hoping to numb the feelings of underachievement. Even though deep down, they can feel the desire to accomplish more in every bone of their body. To make matters worse, by the time they get done with an exhausting day of work or school, they have to go home and finish a bunch of tedious chores. Then before they realize it, they have to get ready and recharge for the next day, which is exactly the same day as they just had. It's a mediocre day. Now, before we get into the mindset that separates the conquerors from the trapped string beans, make sure to punch that like button so that we can reach more people and thus improve the lives of more people. And as a reminder, we have a brand new video every day at 10 a.m. So you see that little bell notification button down there? Yeah, you should click that one as well so that you improve yourself every day. Now, let's get into it. So the first difference is that these conquerors, they've conquered their thoughts. You see, most people, they let their mind roam on autopilot mode, or they're constantly thinking of memories in the past that they aren't fond of. Like a time when they got embarrassed, or they said something cringy to their crush, or even a failure of theirs. Now, the reason why this just destroys their potential is because your thoughts have a direct correlation on your mood. I mean, have you ever noticed that when you think of memories that you're fond of, like when you won a sports game or excelled in an area of life, you start to feel happy? If you haven't noticed that, then I want you to test it out right now. Literally, pause this video and think of a happy memory, and you'll quickly find that your mood, it elevates. Now, sadly, the same thing, it actually happens with your negative memories and your negative thoughts. And the issue really arises is because most people, they let their mind roam, and they don't even realize that these negative stories or past experiences are in their mind, and that's ultimately dampening their mood. Their mood becomes just crushed. It's hard to be happy, you know? And you might experience this yourself because it ultimately leads to a place where you battle crippling depression, anxiety, and self-doubt because you're always so wrapped up in your own problems. Eventually, you get to a point where it kind of feels like a struggle or an uphill battle just to be in a fun-loving attitude where you can joke with your friends and your family. To make matters worse, when you're in this dark place, you pop on social media and you see everyone else just crushing their life. And instead of being happy for them, it might make you feel even worse because you're not fully happy with where your life is or who you've even become, you know? Now, besides your thoughts directly impacting your mood, they also control the direction of your life. When harnessed correctly, like these conquerors, they can help you hit your goals. In fact, Arnold Schwarzenegger used to carry a picture around all day of the physique he wanted. And that's because he knew the power of keeping his vision fresh in his mind. And to further the point, there's a reason why advertisers spend billions of dollars to get your attention. Because they know that if their products are always fresh on your mind, well, you're way more likely to purchase. And this is also why you're supposed to leave the house when you go through a breakup. Because if you stay home, well, your mind's gonna be thinking about your ex. And what happens when you think about them? Yeah, you're way more likely to text or call them. And that's because you always gravitate towards your attention. And that's why conquerors, they ensure that their goals, they're just always in their mind, they're fresh in their head. While these trapped string beans, they let their attention roam on autopilot mode as they think about Netflix or random bullshit that doesn't help their life. And that actually brings us into the second difference between the conqueror mindset and the trapped string bean mindset. You see, these conquerors, they have a crystal clear vision for their life. You see, not having a vision is like being a captain on a boat without a map, a GPS, or a compass. You'll be drifting aimlessly and eventually be lost, despite all your hard efforts to improve yourself and to get your life back on track. In fact, Arnold Schwarzenegger said, when your vision is powerful enough, everything else, it falls into place. How you live your life, your workouts, even your friends that you choose to hang out with. You know, it's ultimately all the activities in your life. Vision is purpose, and when your purpose is clear, so are your life choices. Visions create faith, and faith, it creates willpower. With faith, there is no anxiety, no doubt, just absolute confidence. Learning how to leverage the power of visualizing will engineer rapid change in the direction of your life. Now, there's one last key secret that these conquerors have, and it is that they take 100% responsibility. You see, most people love to play the victim card for why their life isn't the way that they want it to be. They think that they got unlucky, or that someone else or an external factor prevented them from achieving what they want. But when you have this victim mentality or this perception, you're admitting that you don't have control over your life. You're losing all your power. You're essentially telling yourself that other factors dictate the outcome of your life. But do you think Elon Musk, David Goggins, Joe Rogan, or Grant Cardone operate this way? Of course not. I mean, David Goggins has run 100 miles on broken feet. Broken bones in his feet. Now, he doesn't let these problems or any external factors dictate what he does. And that's why he's accomplished what most people can't accomplish. Because the minute that you start making excuses and shifting the blame to someone other than yourself, again, you're admitting defeat and losing control. You're becoming powerless. So if you want to start conquering your goals day in and day out, then you must take 100% responsibility for your life. In fact, let me tell you a story that will further this point. When I was 21 years old, I was stabbed in the throat, arm, and chest with a chef knife while at a movie theater. I was left on the floor to die. But instead, I woke up 7 days later from an induced coma. Now, I was living off tubes. If you unplugged them, you literally unplugged my life. And while I was grateful to be alive, it felt like I lost all sense of who I was. My energy was depleted, like a lake in the summer. In fact, I couldn't even eat a meal because I would literally get so tired that halfway through my meal, I'd have to nap being that exhausted. I mean, imagine that you're eating breakfast and you literally stop, and where you're eating, you fall asleep just because you're that exhausted and that weak. Well, that was me. And on top of it, it was like I was a lesser version of myself, or a sad. I couldn't joke around with my friends too much because my mind was always clouded. And doing a simple equation like 12 times 12, it burnt through my entire mental fortitude. It was almost like something didn't click in my brain, or that it wasn't firing on all cylinders. But even worse than that, my confidence disappeared like a quarter in a magic show, and my head was plagued with negative thoughts and self-doubt. I was left asking myself, am I ever going to get back to a normal state where I feel good about myself or can even function like a normal human being? Or am I destined for a life of mediocrity? But it was when I hit this low in my life that I decided I wasn't going to give up. So I started to try and piece my life together like a puzzle. But I kept falling off my word to do the things that would improve my life and do the things that would really get me back to normal. I kept swearing at the world and thinking, my life stuck all because of this guy who stabbed me. You know, I was shifting the blame. Now, this made me feel better about myself, but it didn't help me push through those difficult times. It didn't help me progress my life. It simply gave me an out to give up. And that's when I started studying how the human brain works. And I started studying how these high performers operate, which led me to uncover taking 100% responsibility for my life. And it made me realize that I'm the only one able to take control of my life, and that no one but me can do it. And it was only once this happened that my life started to see progress. It started to see momentum. And look, fast forward a little over 4 years, and here I am in front of you in this exact moment, running a business around my passion. I get to help men like you really become conquerors who take what they want in life. And it all started because I acquired the mind of a conqueror and took 100% responsibility for my life. And think about it, if these hidden powers brought me from the brink of death to being more happy, more confident, and more capable than I've ever been, imagine what it could do for you. But remember, you're the only one that can put in the work to change your life. So the question is, are you going to acquire the mind of a conqueror so that you can take control of your life? Or are you going to be a trapped string bean and let your potential rot away with your ambitions? Now, before you decide which route you're going to take, let me ask you a question. If you're already feeling bad about yourself and where your life is, how are you going to feel in 1, 2, or 3 years from now if you don't change anything? Is that decision to stay stagnant in life, improving your life, or making it worse? With that being said, if you made it this far in the video, it shows me, and frankly it shows yourself, that you're meant to be a part of our army of conquerors because you're still striving to become a better version of yourself. You know, most people, they get demoralized when they try so hard to change their habits, their actions and behaviors, but land back in the same place they started. But that isn't you. So with that being said, I'd love for you to officially join us by subscribing to our YouTube channel and liking this video. And not only that, I want to hear which of these secrets of a conqueror mindset that you think is the most powerful and which one you're going to start implementing to your life. Let me know in the comments below. Oh, and actually one more last thing. I feel like every time in these videos I always say, oh, one more thing. But okay, one more thing. If you want to acquire the mind of a conqueror, we do have a 7-day challenge, so you can check that out. The link will be in the description below. And I'll see you in the next video.